Hello, everyone. All right. It's 3 o'clock. Hello, everyone. People starting to join in. How's everybody's day going? Today is Thursday. They're starting to blend together. How are you guys doing? Where are you guys from? Wasn't our conversation with Jasmine fantastic today? It was amazing. Our new Kinergy Guide introduction. All right, as we're starting to get some people signing on, I'll wait a little bit longer. So, hello from France, from Dallas, Chicago, whoop, whoop, New Zealand. What time is it there? Melbourne, Australia, North Carolina, Bulgaria, Ukraine. Amazing. Atlanta, hello. From Jacksonville, Florida, from Munich, Connecticut. We've got people from everywhere. São Paulo. Woo! Amazing. Hi from Maryland. Hello, everyone. All right. Well, we'll get started. Thank you guys so much for coming on to Kinergy for our Kinergy conversations. I'm super excited to announce our guest of honor today, Kelly Gores, who is the writer, director, producer of the Heal documentary. And one of the most amazing things that I found about that documentary specifically was that we really are our own healers, and what Kelly has brought to the world through the documentary, through her book, it really helps us understand that what is innately within us and the power that we have within us to shift our consciousness and with what we eat, with what we think, and our belief systems. So, but mainly those belief systems, which really helped me during a time when I was in a transformational experience a couple years ago. And I remember watching this documentary being like, oh, this is it. So I am so excited to introduce you to the beautiful Kelly Gores. I'm going to see if she is on right now. Let's make sure we've got everybody connected. Yes, I'm very excited to have you guys hear from this beautiful woman who really was such a pioneer in this time, because and really made what healing from the inside out and from ourselves really made that mainstream, because I think a lot of the times people just felt like that's just something that woo-woo people say. So so it was really amazing for me to be able to see that and then have her express all of the things that she learned. So Kelly, yes, there she is.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm so good. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well considering everything that's going on.
Yeah, it's crazy out there.
Yeah, it is. And, I kind of feel it's like I feel a little guilty because I've had such an amazing time being able to connect within myself and pause and stop. But then at the same time, I also feel like this is such an important time to be talking about that. So,
Yeah.
and that is where you come in, my dear, where you just are leading the way with everything. So I'm going to give just a quick introduction of who you are. So Kelly is the writer, director, and producer of the award-winning Heal documentary and the author of the Heal book. And in both of her works, Kelly highlights that we have so much more control over our health and our life that we have been led to believe that we do, and that our belief in our core system of our body's capacity to heal itself is really all within us, and that's exactly what Kinergy believes as well. And so I'm so excited to hear from you, and especially the fact that you really do believe that we are all our own healers.
Yes, I we are designed to heal. Our body is, built to literally defend against pathogens and viruses. And the human body is such an intelligent system, and really our biggest ally. And the messaging that we've been getting for years and now even is that our bodies are failing us and we need outside help to heal. But really we just need to learn, like raise awareness and learn how to support our bodies and what it's designed to do, which is heal.
I'm so excited to talk to you because I remember a couple of years ago, I was on this journey of transformation, and I saw your documentary and I watched it and I was like, this is it. This is what I've always felt within myself, but didn't know how to articulate, or had felt like it was hard to find this information. It was all separated. And you created such an important conversation with all these different modalities of how to heal that really come from you. And so give us a little understanding of how you decided to create this documentary, or a little bit about your reasoning behind wanting to share all of your insights.
Yeah, I mean, I essentially just put all of the teachers that changed my life, books I read or talks I went to, or, workshops that I attended. And I just kept this messaging, really empowering me, and I would apply their teachings to my life, and my life just kept getting better and better and healthier in mind, body, and spirit. And I'm just like, everybody needs to know this, and I was raised in film. So film for me is like the medium, the powerful medium to tell the story. And I just really felt a calling it was just almost like I had to do this. And, I read Bruce Lipton's book, The Biology of Belief, and learned about epigenetics and how, we're not actually victims of our genes, but our lifestyle choices and our belief systems, how we perceive life really turn on and off genes. And I was just like, oh my gosh, everybody needs to know this. So
yes,
yeah.
Totally.
Exactly. So,
and were you raised that way? Were you raised in a holistic manner, or was this something that you found later on in life?
I didn't ever, I had a pretty, I had one instance in high school where I got sick and my glands were really swollen, and, we had like whatever basic health insurance, and I went to Kaiser, and the doctors just basically put tried this antibiotic, that didn't work, this antibiotic, my glands just stayed swollen. So I got better, I felt better, but mono was going around. So they tested me for mono and Epstein-Barr, and I was negative for all that. So it was basically like a mystery why my glands were like golf balls, Mm-hmm. And so my mom, was seeing a chiropractor because she was still playing soccer. And I went, and he felt my glands, and he said, oh, look, just try taking a shot of apple cider vinegar for the next week and see if it does anything. And after a year of trying every antibiotic under the sun and having a lymph node biopsy where I went under general anesthesia.
Oh my God.
And they still didn't know what it was. The apple cider vinegar like cleared up my glands. So that was kind of the first thing. I was like, wait a second, I don't know.
Yeah, well, by the way, I had some apple cider vinegar today, so hopefully my glands are doing great. No, but that's amazing, because I really resonate with the fact that I have taken so many Z-Packs in my life because I've been so sick, and like it's just a quick fix and I know that it works, but really, does it work, or is it just suppressing even more and not really getting to the root cause? It's just putting a Band-Aid on it. And so growing up for me, my grandmother, she would be like, let me rub my hands together and put it on your belly if you have a tummy ache, and I'm going to heal your belly. Or she'd like smell our throat if we were sick, and she'd be like, yep, that's strep throat. Take this cotton ball and swig it. And so she was always like that. My mother was always like that. And then somewhere along the line, I stopped listening to this holistic approach, and I just did what the world and society just says is what we should be doing for our health. And just in the last few years is when I've started turning my story around. And with you, again, like I said, you were one of the catalysts for me to just feel very validated in the fact that okay, this is real, and this isn't, a lot of people can think woo woo hippity dippity when you think, oh, I am my own healer, I can heal from the inside out, and it's not. It's science based. So
It's,
tell us a
yeah.
little bit about the science, and like especially like Joe Dispenza and all the people that now I am such fans of because of your documentary.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, just to what you said about, at some point you forgot what your grandmother, all of her skills and her natural ability to tune into the body. And I think that we find ourselves moving so fast, and you're so busy and you're creating amazing things. And so at a certain point, drugs become convenient, and convenience food becomes convenient. But ultimately, once you learn how the body works and how symptoms, whether it's a runny nose or a headache or a fever, all of these things is your body trying to communicate with you, so that you slow down, rest, allow it to clean itself up and repair, and heal. A fever is a way to get the virus out of your system. So rather than reduce the fever for a little momentary comfort, you want to let your body do its
Do
thing.
its
So
thing.
it's all awareness, and once you have that awareness, you're going to want to, just like you in the last few years and myself, you accept that your body is trying to speak to you, and to slow down and listen to it. Maybe we were eating too much sugar and now we're having eczema or migraines or something. So it's just your body's in constant conversation, and we just need to learn what it's saying to us.
So what are some ways that you find help you connect or are able to listen to your body? Because I believe that too. Our body is our language. It's been trying to speak to us and has been our whole lives, but we're more in our head than in our body. And so how do you connect to listen to your body?
Yeah, I think that meditation for me is like, just has been
Us.
life changing, because I find that we're just inundated with information right now, and the vast majority is negative, and fear mongering. A lot of everything on the news is either violent or just tragic, and fear based. So I think that it's important to not only disconnect from tech and information inundation, which naturally is going to cause us stress and anxiety. It's kind of like consuming bad food. If you want to be very careful about what you consume in the media, but also just cutting off all the stimulation from our smartphones, from our busy lives, and turning within and connecting to your breath. There's so much science behind the physiological and biological benefits of
Yeah.
meditation. It takes you out of the stress response. When you're in the stress response, it shuts down all of your other functions of your body. Digestion. That's why so many people have digestive issues, because they're on a constant fight or flight state.
Yeah.
So their digestion is not working, because literally when you're in a chronic stress state, your body is taking energy reserves from all the other systems. So your higher brain centers aren't functioning at their optimal capacity. Digestion, who names it? Elimination. So it de-stresses. It also, it just releases stress. I find that it creates, it's like a cumulative deposits of like peace and space.
Yes.
So the more you practice it, the less accumulation of stress happens. Because if you're full, something hits you, you're triggered, you blow up, you melt
Totally.
down, you cry, you yell, you blame other people. But if you have this practice where you create this space, you can really respond to life rather than just react all the time, because you're just at max capacity, So to me, meditation, I could talk for hours about it. Like you said, Joe Dispenza has amazing meditations,
Yes.
that he's offering right now. And
Yes, he does. So just for like especially me, because I'm always so curious about what people do in like their routine, because I'm all about like freedom within a framework. And so having structure is so important to be able to, I don't know, just guide you and keep you accountable, but then at the same time having that freedom of expression within that. So do you have like a daily ritual of like what you do throughout the day?
Yeah, and I think right now too, because we're all in this weird
Yeah.
quarantine and we're confined more than usual. I think it's really important to have your toolkit of daily
Mhm.
practices to, you know, you and I have done a lot of inner work for many years, and I think it's prepared us for these kind of stressful, uncertain times because we can, apply our tools and really come back to center when we, get sucked by anxiety or have,
Yeah.
you know,
Hmm.
uh, all this overwhelm of emotion because people are suffering for real out there right now. And the funny thing is, like, life wasn't easy before COVID-19. We were
Yeah.
dealing with divorces and layoffs and disease and, really intense stuff in our life anyway. And then we've got this on top of it. So we're in a pressure cooker right now. And I think it really helps to have daily practices. Yeah.
Hmm.
So my three that I really go to, well, four actually, meditation
Hmm.
once or twice a day, whatever I can fit it in. But, game changer, just always brings me back to center. And
How long do you meditate for? Just for people who maybe are like, I don't know how to meditate, or how long do I do it?
yeah, I mean, anything, I think you can get a lot accomplished in 10 minutes. You can
Yeah.
do 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes, in the afternoon, evening. I like to sit for 20 minutes if I can.
Me too.
Joe Dispenza,
That's my good number too.
20. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think, sometimes it takes me 10 minutes just to like,
Zone.
yeah, the buzzing to tap in. And it becomes addictive. Like you feel so good after,
Hmm.
and blissful. You feel lighter. So I highly recommend it. And then I like to connect with nature in any way possible. Nature is so healing. We talk about it in the Heal book a lot. I'm blessed to be by the ocean right now, and there's all these negative ions in the air, which just takes free radicals out of your system. And so it's so healing. So I try to put my feet in the sand. If I'm not here, I try to put my feet in the grass. It's grounding, earthing for 20 minutes a day.
Yes.
Be out in the sunshine. Like, nature is so healing.
Hmm.
And then movement. So that's the third one. And it's a biggie for me. I'm an athlete. I grew up playing sports, so it's not only physical for me, it's mostly mental.
Hmm.
And that's why when you DM'd me and told me about your Kinergy class last week, I was like, oh God, I happened to be free. I happened to be alone in the house at the time. And I'm like, I am not a dancer. This is going to be really bad. And I just did it. I broke through the discomfort, and I'm so glad I did, because I want my entire, anyone who follows me, any of my friends, to try it, because it's so awesome. It's so healing. It takes in everything we talk about in Heal, ancient wisdom, all of these ceremony from our ancestors that we're missing today, community, movement. I really felt like, it moves stagnant energy and
Mhm.
stuck emotion out of your body. So it's definitely therapy. It's fun, and you're like this ball of light, teaching the class. So it was
Uh,
awesome. Yeah.
well, thank you. I mean, thank you for taking it. And I sent it to you because I was like, you know what? I follow you. I'm going to have the courage. I'm going to reach out. I also feel like this is super aligned. It is nature. It's the elements. It's breathing. It's moving, and it's coming back to that childlike wonderment again, which I also believe that, like, that creativity and aliveness that we felt when we were kids. I mean, that also creates, I don't know, and you probably have more of the science behind it, but that creates the space within you so that you're not holding on to the stresses and the anxieties of what it feels like to be an adult. So yes,
Yeah.
we still have to function and survive and pay our bills and everything, but if we can add a little bit of that play and that wonderment, and then life just somehow seems like everything's going to be okay.
Totally. It shifts your frequency, and that's,
Yes.
everything is energy, and life is heavy, life is
Mhm.
hard. It's just, and its nature is uncertainty. I think you're going to talk to Peter Crone next week.
Yes, I am.
He's in Heal. I started working with him personally again, just dealing with this one pretty big issue that I'm dealing with right now. And I started working with him like in early February, and it was just perfect timing because we need support to work on our stuff and see where our belief systems have us stuck, and
that's amazing, the belief systems, because that's one of the things that in the last few years, I didn't even realize I had belief systems that weren't my own, that they were just conditioned from either how I grew up in religion, in my community and my culture, also in the dance culture and the celebrity film entertainment culture. I mean, all these other identities and beliefs that are not mine, and I've adapted them. So I don't know. Tell me a little bit about how you met Peter and that experience, and then just how it's a constant.
totally. And there's so many ways to address your own wounds and heal and like release past trauma. And I think, movement and Kinergy, the classes that you designed, is one of them. It's so nice to add that to the toolbox. Peter I met him randomly at Whole Foods in Santa Monica, like 8 years ago or something. And I'm so glad I did. And we kept in touch, and he told me he was coaching. So I booked a session with him, and he just blew my mind, or rather freed my mind in such a profound way. And he just has, he's been doing this work for 2 decades, and he had his own awakening, and he's been through so much trauma himself. And so he's just figured out a way, and he works with pro athletes to get them out of their head and into the zone, because, a lot of athletes like golfers or batters at the plate, there's a lot of anxiety that, shuts down their talent, their potential. So it's the same with me. He has shown me, reflected back to what constructs I have in my mind that are keeping me imprisoned. And that causes, basically colors the lens through which I look at life, which causes stress. And again, half of the belief systems we have are not ours. Half of them are just inherent in human nature. There's a lot of belief in inadequacy. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. I'm not loved. I have one that says I am not safe, or I've done something wrong. And what the brain does then, once you have these constructs in your mind and these neural pathways blazed, it looks for evidence in your environment to confirm that you're right, for the ego. That's just the way that our consciousness is designed. So that's all you're going to see. You're not going to see examples of where you are loved, or where you are safe, or where you are secure. You're going to look for all the examples that prove your negative beliefs are correct.
Exactly.
Which is a problem.
Isn't that crazy how like our ego has that much power? It's like, whoa, but yet we and our soul and our mind, and how with our toolbox, we actually do have more power than the ego. But it's wild. Whatever you feed, you will fuel. So being able to have all those tools are so incredible. And yes, I'm going to be speaking with Peter next week. So and again, because I watched your documentary, I found Peter. So
I know
you're just the connector of all things. And I love that you said that, because you said that, all of the practices and the modalities and the people that helped you just wanted to share that. And I feel the exact same way.
Yeah, it's amazing. And it's so great to get, again, like I said, a little bit from movement and Kinergy, from working with someone like Peter, taking his course or whatever. Then Joe Dispenza, his meditations have been really helping me concurrently with all this work I'm doing on Peter, because he's all about, the field of infinite possibilities. So when we turn in and he guides us through a meditation, we focus on, the black behind the eyes, and we connect, we get our heart and our mind in a coherent state, which immediately changes our frequency. And, our vibration attracts what we're going to experience in the world. So frequency is huge. And he says, focus on the infinite possibility, focus on, where our brains, especially now, we are entrained to focus on the worst case scenario. It's our survival mechanism. And that's why
limiting self. Yeah.
And we're anxious all the time, because we're focused on like, the worst thing that can happen. And, we do need to start practicing and having support and tools to help train our brain and visualize and focus on what we do want, and we focus on our healthy, healing, perfect, vibrant bodies, rather than the disease that's in us right now.
Yes, exactly. And especially right now with what's going on. I mean, there's probably so many people that have either had it or have it and don't have symptoms. But knowing that we can actually, whether it's breathing and meditating or eating well and actually fighting it off from the inside out, I mean, that gives us so much power
Mhm.
and power in a like in a pure, authentic way versus the victimization that we need substances outside of ourselves. So
Yeah.
I'm so excited that I don't know, there's just people that we get to meet and come in contact with because the more you open up and you discover and get rid of these layers of conditioning and beliefs and start these practices, you start connecting with your people, you know, like all of a sudden they start coming into your life and you're like, where have you been all my life?
Totally.
And that circle just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And you realize that, wow, I really was much more alone and protecting myself when I didn't need to. In fact, I was actually just shielding myself from what's possible. And now, you know, just with all this information that you're giving to the world and just your service that you've given with your book, which, by the way, I pinned down here for all of our Kinergy community. Kelly has so graciously given us a 30% discount to get her book. So if you go to this link below and use the code Kinergy Heal 30, she has been so generous to give us that discount. So please go get her book, watch her documentary. It really was so life-changing for me. And yeah, I'm just so grateful that you're sharing what you go through, what you have gone through, the fact that it's constant, that it's never like it's not that you get to this destination and everything is great. It's constant. And so your courage to show that, because sometimes as a pioneer, it can be a lonely road because people kind of think like, well, who are you? You've changed. But you know that you're on the right path, but sometimes it feels a little discouraging in the moment. So I just want to thank you for your courage to just share with what some people might knock, you know?
Yeah, thank you. And just to want to say, like, just right back at you, because I know, people might look at you or might look at me and say, wow, they live such blessed lives. It's easy for them to say, oh, I'm so grateful, like as comparison. But I'm really struggling with the guilt too, because I have done so much work, which I feel like has gotten me to a place in my life where I have so much to be grateful for.
Mm-hmm.
But I still deal with major challenges and shit that I have to deal with on a daily basis.
Shit.
There's
Please
some,
say it.
there's
Yes.
some shit going down,
Yes.
And, of course it's all relative, but I mean, if I didn't have the tools, I would be a mess right now.
Yeah.
And so I'm grateful that I've met such amazing people along the way, that I've had such great teachers. I hope that, if you do watch the film or read the book, like leads you to someone that you resonate in the film, that they can help too, because there's just so much wisdom from these teachers, and they really have helped me so that I can navigate times like this. But like you said, it's a constant evolution, and Peter just told me this in our session this week. He's like, when a rocket ship is going through it's when it's about to break through the atmosphere into the next level or whatever, the heat, the pressure, it gets exponential, to the point where sometimes the rocket doesn't make it and it explodes. Mm-hmm. And that's, right before, I just want to encourage people are feeling that pressure and heat right now, but just know that a breakthrough is so close. Just keep doing the work. You're going to break through that, but you got to just endure the heat and the pressure, and just, come back to your tools and your friends,
I love that you said that. And I mean, to bring it even back to Kinergy, for those of you that have done the method, it takes you through that heat, that moment of explosion. And it's that moment when you want to step back, that it's too much or it's too hot, or I might explode or something, or I'm scared, and then people step back, and then that moment of transformation is lost because we didn't have the courage, not the fight, the push, the willpower, but the true like courage of, I don't know what's gonna happen, the like freedom of uncertainty, what's gonna be on the other side. But then when that happens, it's like, wow, now you are in outer space and you get to see the world from the observer point of view. And that's like that's what I want to help people with. That's what you want to help people with, is just knowing what's on that other side of that threshold. And so I'm grateful for you and all of your wisdom and your sharing. And again, everyone, if you just come on recently, Kelly is the writer, director, and producer of Heal, the documentary, and the book, and she has so graciously given us a 30% discount on her book. So if you go to the link below and use the link or the code KINERGYHEAL30, she has generously given that to us. So thank you so much, Kelly. And also go to your Instagram account, Kelly Gores, and then also the healdocumentary.com. Is it the Heal or just Heal?
Just Heal documentary.
Healdocumentary.com. Heal documentary on Instagram. Go follow everything. And I can't wait to actually meet you in person and give you a hug. I know, virtual hugs. And just thank you for sharing with our community and our growing community. Yeah, sending love your way. Really appreciate you.
Thank you. You're a light.
As are you. Thank you, everybody, for coming on for our Kinergy Conversations. It was amazing to have Kelly here, who just is such a beam of light and so courageously has been a pioneer in sharing these modalities information, that we are our own healers, and especially in a mainstream way. So thank you, Kelly, for leading the way, and hopefully we can all go watch that tonight. And then send us your comments. Use the hashtag Heal Documentary and create Kinergy, and we can have more conversations, because the more we communicate and connect with each other, especially during this time, the more connected we feel, and the more we're able to take what we've learned and pass it on, because it's all about paying it forward. So sending love your way. Kelly just put the code KINERGYHEAL30 up, so if you need that, you can check that out for her book. She is amazing, and we will talk soon. Love you guys. Bye-bye.